Have you ever paused and wondered, why do my legs feel weaker, even though I eat healthy, stay active, and do all the right things? Why does getting up from a chair feel like a challenge these days? Why do a few steps feel like climbing a steep hill? Is this just part of getting older, or is there something else quietly draining your strength? Here's something you probably haven't considered. The problem may not be what's missing from your lifestyle, but something you're doing every single day without realizing it's doing harm. It's a common trap many older adults fall into, often while trying their best to live healthy. We've all been told that fruit is one of the healthiest things you can eat. After all, it's natural, full of vitamins, and straight from nature's garden. But here's the truth most people don't hear. As we age, our bodies change, and not all fruits continue to be our friends. Some of the most beloved fruits, yes, even the ones you think are doing you good, can actually trigger hidden inflammation, increase joint stiffness, and quietly weaken your legs over time. Especially for people over 60, this can be a game changer. Now, this isn't because these fruits are bad foods. It's because your metabolism has slowed, your circulation isn't what it used to be, and your body processes sugar and acid differently now. What used to energize and nourish you might now be contributing to your pain, swelling, and reduced mobility. In this video, we're going to uncover 7 fruits that could be quietly working against your leg health, causing stiffness, discomfort, and long-term joint damage. These fruits may look innocent in your kitchen bowl, but the impact they can have is anything but harmless. So make sure you stay with me until the very end, especially if staying strong, mobile, and independent matters to you. And while you're here, hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon, because we go beyond the usual advice to bring you the real health truths that no one else is talking about. Let's dive into the first fruit that might be silently sabotaging your strength. Pineapple, often seen as nature's tropical delight, might actually be acting as an acidic double agent in your diet. Sweet, juicy, and bursting with flavor, pineapple has long been praised for its health benefits, especially due to an enzyme called bromelain. This enzyme is often promoted as anti-inflammatory and healing. But here's what most people don't realize, especially seniors. This fruit can also have a darker side. While bromelain might reduce inflammation in theory, the rest of what pineapple brings to the table may not be so kind to an aging body. Pineapple is packed with natural sugars and strong fruit acids. And as we age, our blood vessels become more delicate and less efficient. When you consume high-sugar fruits like pineapple, your blood sugar can spike rapidly. These spikes strain your vascular system, especially the tiny blood vessels that supply your legs. Over time, this leads to poor circulation, less oxygen delivery, and that heavy, dragging feeling in your calves after even a short walk. But the story doesn't end with sugar. Pineapple's high acidity can be a real problem for anyone dealing with arthritis or ongoing joint pain. Acidic foods are known to aggravate inflammation, and if your knees, hips, or ankles are already tender, pineapple might be silently fanning the flames, making those joints feel stiffer and more swollen than they need to be. Then there's the issue of medication. Bromelain, while helpful in some ways, can interfere with certain prescriptions, especially blood thinners. It can either enhance or reduce the effects of your meds without any obvious signs at first. That means the pineapple you're eating for health might be subtly disrupting the very treatments meant to keep you well. And here's the real danger. You probably won't feel the harm right away. The effects of pineapple build slowly, over weeks, even months. You might not link your growing leg fatigue, joint pain, or balance issues to that sweet fruit you've been enjoying with confidence. Now, does this mean you have to completely give up pineapple? Not necessarily. But if you're struggling with unexplained leg discomfort or joint flare-ups, try cutting back and see how your body reacts. That small change might just bring surprising relief and help you feel stronger on your feet again. Next fruit is bananas. Bananas may seem like the perfect health food, soft, easy to digest, and rich in potassium. For decades, they've been promoted as a go-to snack for energy, muscle function, and heart health. But for aging adults, especially those over 60, this seemingly harmless fruit may be doing more harm than good when it comes to leg strength and circulation. Bananas are naturally high in starch and sugar, and while they do offer important nutrients like potassium and vitamin B6, they also carry a glycemic load that can affect blood sugar levels more than you might expect. For seniors whose metabolism has slowed down, even one banana can cause a quick spike in glucose. These sugar surges, followed by a sudden drop, can leave you feeling sluggish, tired, and more prone to muscle fatigue, especially in your legs. Over time, this cycle of spike and crash takes a toll. Muscles require stable energy to function well, and your legs, being the largest muscle group in your body, are especially sensitive to these shifts. If you've ever felt your legs giving out after just a short walk or felt your knees wobble after standing up too quickly, bananas could be playing a silent role in that experience. But the sugar issue isn't the only concern. Bananas are also rich in tyramine, a naturally occurring compound that can trigger inflammation in certain individuals, especially those prone to joint pain or arthritis. This can lead to stiffness in the knees and ankles, and that all too familiar feeling of swelling around the joints by evening time. Another hidden risk? Overconsumption. Bananas are easy to overeat because they're soft, filling, and readily available. But eating 2 or 3 a day, especially without balancing them with fiber or protein, can lead to bloating, water retention, and muscle imbalance, again, affecting your legs first. It's important to understand that bananas aren't inherently bad. They have their place, especially in moderation. But if you're over 60 and experiencing leg cramps, fatigue, or joint discomfort, consider limiting your banana intake for a few weeks. You may be surprised how much lighter and more energized your legs begin to feel. Next up, let's talk about grapes. Grapes might look innocent, small, sweet, and easy to snack on, but for aging bodies, they can act like a slow-moving threat to your joints and leg strength. Whether green, red, or black, grapes are often seen as a clean fruit. No peeling, no cutting, just pop and eat. And while they do contain antioxidants like resveratrol, which are praised for heart health, there's more to the story, especially if you're over 60. Let's talk sugar. Grapes are one of the highest sugar fruits per bite. A small handful can pack in as much sugar as a candy bar, without any of the guilt because, well, they're fruit. But here's the catch. Your aging metabolism isn't what it used to be. That means your body breaks down sugars more slowly, and your insulin response becomes less efficient. The result? Sugar lingers in your system longer, leading to inflammation, blood sugar swings, and circulatory stress, especially in the lower limbs. What does this look like in everyday life? More swelling in your ankles, legs that feel heavier at the end of the day, a strange tingling in your calves. And while grapes might not be the only cause, they can certainly contribute, especially if you eat them regularly. Another thing to consider is how easy they are to overconsume. You don't eat just one grape. You eat a bunch, sometimes without realizing how much sugar you're taking in. This leads to prolonged glycemic load, which over time can weaken blood vessels and strain the very systems that keep your legs strong and energized. And if you're dealing with arthritis or joint sensitivity, grapes aren't always your ally. Their high sugar content and acid profile can quietly worsen inflammation. You may notice more stiffness after walking, or more soreness in your knees and hips when getting up from bed. Now, this doesn't mean you need to completely eliminate grapes, but they're best treated like a treat, not a staple. If you're snacking on grapes daily and wondering why your legs feel tight, bloated, or just plain tired, try pausing for a week or two. Focus on fruits lower in sugar and higher in fiber, like berries or apples. Sometimes the smallest changes, like swapping out a handful of grapes, can help restore strength, reduce inflammation, and make every step feel lighter and easier. Next, fruit watermelon might seem like the perfect way to stay hydrated, especially on a warm day. But it may actually be what I call a fake hydrator, especially for older adults. Its juicy, refreshing texture makes it feel like the ideal fruit for hydration. And yes, watermelon is made up of over 90% water. But there's a hidden catch that many seniors overlook. Watermelon has a surprisingly high glycemic index. That means it causes your blood sugar to rise, and fast. Now, why does this matter? As we age, our metabolism slows down and our bodies process sugars less efficiently. That quick spike in blood sugar from watermelon might not feel like much at first, but inside your body is working overtime to manage the rush. This process often triggers subtle inflammation, particularly in the lower extremities, like the legs and feet. If you've noticed swelling in your ankles, stiffness in your knees, or that dragging feeling in your calves after enjoying a bowl of watermelon, it might not be a coincidence. That's the silent effect of sugar-induced inflammation. And because watermelon is often seen as a safe fruit, people tend to eat it in large amounts, thinking they're helping their hydration levels when, in fact, they could be worsening leg discomfort. It's important to understand that it's not just about sugar. Watermelon also lacks fiber and protein, which means it enters your bloodstream fast and with little resistance. This leads to a rapid rise and fall in energy, something seniors are especially sensitive to. That post-watermelon crash can leave your legs feeling weak, your balance a little off, and your motivation to move quickly fading. Now, this doesn't mean you need to banish watermelon entirely from your diet. It still offers vitamins like A and C and can be part of a balanced summer treat. But be mindful of the timing and portion. Pair it with a protein source or enjoy a smaller serving instead of a full bowl. And most importantly, pay attention to how your body responds. If you're experiencing unexplained leg soreness or fatigue after eating watermelon, don't ignore the signs. What seems refreshing might actually be reducing your strength. Sometimes the healthiest looking choices need a second look, especially after 60. Next, we come to oranges. Oranges are often seen as a morning essential, bright, juicy, and packed with immune-boosting vitamin C. But for many older adults, they may be delivering more harm than good, especially when it comes to joint and leg health. While it's true that oranges support the immune system and provide antioxidants, there's another side to this citrus fruit that often goes unnoticed. The culprit? Citric acid. Oranges contain high levels of this compound, which, although natural, can be particularly irritating to aging joints. For those already dealing with arthritis, joint stiffness, or chronic inflammation, citric acid can intensify discomfort. You might notice that stiff feeling in your knees when you get out of bed in the morning, or that familiar ache in your hips after sitting for a while. These symptoms may be quietly worsened by your daily orange or glass of orange juice. And speaking of juice, orange juice might seem like a healthy start to the day, but it often acts more like a sugar bomb than a wellness drink. Even if it's labeled 100% pure, it lacks the fiber that whole fruit provides, meaning that sugar hits your bloodstream all at once. For seniors with slower metabolisms and more fragile blood vessels, this rapid sugar absorption leads to inflammation, particularly in the lower body. Ankles swell, knees ache, your legs feel heavy even though you haven't done anything strenuous. What's especially tricky is how we view oranges as harmless. After all, they're fruit, right? But it's easy to overconsume, especially in juice form, where you might be drinking the sugar equivalent of 4 or 5 whole oranges in just one glass. This constant flood of sugar and acid can lead to low-grade inflammation over time, wearing down your joints, affecting your circulation, and making movement feel harder than it should. Now, this doesn't mean oranges are the enemy. If enjoyed occasionally and in moderation, they can still be part of a balanced diet. But if you're someone who's experiencing recurring leg pain, joint stiffness, or morning soreness, it might be time to rethink that daily dose of citrus. Your body changes as you age. What once energized you might now be contributing to fatigue and pain. Being mindful of how oranges affect your joints could be a small but powerful step toward regaining comfort and mobility. Now let's take a look at green apples. Green apples often wear the disguise of being the healthier fruit option. Tart, crisp, and lower in sugar than their red cousins. But for older adults, they can quietly stir up more discomfort than relief. While they may seem like the perfect clean snack, especially for those watching their sugar intake, green apples contain a powerful ingredient that deserves a second look: malic acid. Malic acid gives green apples their signature tangy bite, but it also has a sneaky downside, especially for seniors. As we age, the lining of our digestive system becomes more delicate. What we used to digest with ease in our younger years can now lead to irritation, bloating, or even inflammation. Malic acid in particular can irritate the tissues in the stomach and intestines, sometimes triggering discomfort that radiates to other parts of the body, including the joints. If you've ever noticed leg cramps at night, unexpected stiffness in your hips after a meal, or an achy feeling in your knees after sitting for too long, your daily apple habit might be playing a role. That's because even though green apples are lower in sugar than many other fruits, they still contain enough natural sugar to elevate your blood glucose. In aging bodies where insulin sensitivity declines, even moderate spikes in blood sugar can contribute to inflammation, especially in areas already prone to weakness, like the hips, knees, and calves. And it's also important to consider the timing. Many people eat green apples in the afternoon or evening as a light snack. But when consumed later in the day, especially without protein or fat to balance the sugar, they can contribute to blood sugar imbalances overnight. That's when those restless legs, Charlie horses, or tight calves start to creep in, disturbing your sleep and leaving your legs feeling drained by morning. The truth is, green apples aren't necessarily bad, but like so many other fruits, they require more awareness as we age. If you're struggling with unexplained leg discomfort or digestion issues after meals, try reducing or rotating your fruit choices. You might find that swapping that tart green apple for a more fiber-rich, lower-acid alternative makes a noticeable difference in how you feel, especially in your joints and legs. Listening to your body is key. Sometimes even the most innocent foods can be quietly working against your comfort and strength. And finally, we arrive at mango. Mango is often celebrated as the king of fruits, sweet, juicy, and deeply satisfying. But for aging adults, it can quietly act as a sugary saboteur. Across the world, mangoes are beloved for their rich flavor and vibrant color. They're seen as a gift from nature, full of vitamins like A and C, and often recommended for boosting immunity. But beneath that golden flesh lies a hidden risk, especially for people over 60. The issue lies in its high natural sugar content. A single serving of mango can contain as much sugar as a candy bar. And while that sugar is natural, your body doesn't treat it much differently. As we age, insulin sensitivity decreases, meaning the body struggles to process sugar efficiently. That post-mango sugar spike may leave you feeling good for a short while, but the crash that follows can trigger inflammation, fatigue, and even nerve sensitivity. Have you ever noticed a tingling in your toes? A dull ache in your hips after a meal? Or that sudden wave of exhaustion not long after eating something sweet? Mango could be part of the problem. That sugar overload travels through your bloodstream and starts affecting the areas most sensitive to change: your joints, your nerves, and your circulation. For those already dealing with arthritis, prediabetes, or neuropathy, mango's impact can be even more noticeable. Its sugars can increase swelling around joints, worsen stiffness, and contribute to that heavy leg feeling that makes it harder to move comfortably or stay active. Over time, regular mango consumption, especially in large amounts, can quietly aggravate chronic symptoms without you even realizing the connection. And let's be honest, mango is easy to overeat. Whether fresh, blended into smoothies, or dried as a snack, it's incredibly palatable. But this fruit's sugary nature means you have to be especially mindful if you're trying to manage inflammation, blood sugar, or mobility. The good news? You don't have to give up mango completely. A few bites once in a while, paired with protein or healthy fats, can help soften the sugar impact. But if you're experiencing unexplained joint pain, nerve sensitivity, or post-meal fatigue, it might be time to rethink how much mango is making its way into your diet. In the end, nature's candy still comes with a cost, especially when you're working hard to protect your body, your joints, and your independence as you age. Now, after learning about the 7 fruits that could be secretly draining your strength, you might be wondering, what's left? What can I eat that actually helps me feel better? The good news is, not all fruits are working against you. In fact, some are your body's best allies. Fruits that can reduce inflammation, improve blood flow, and actually help you stay mobile, balanced, and pain-free. When chosen with intention, fruit can become a powerful part of your health routine, nourishing your joints, strengthening your legs, and keeping your energy stable throughout the day. Let's take a look at 5 fruits that support your body as it ages. Fruits that soothe discomfort instead of triggering it. Let's begin with berries, tiny but mighty. Blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, strawberries. These are low in sugar but high in antioxidants, especially anthocyanins, which actively fight inflammation. Berries also improve circulation by supporting healthy blood vessels, and their natural fiber slows sugar absorption, preventing crashes that sap your energy. If you're dealing with swollen knees, tight calves, or morning leg fatigue, adding berries to your daily meals might make a big difference. Try them in yogurt, oatmeal, or even as a frozen snack. Next, cherries. Especially tart cherries have been studied for their role in lowering uric acid levels, which can reduce arthritis flare-ups. For seniors who feel burning in the toes at night, random ankle swelling, or stiff joints in the morning, a small handful of cherries may offer natural relief. But remember, moderation matters. Stick to around half a cup and steer clear of sugary cherry juices. Then there's the often overlooked avocado. Yes, it's a fruit, and one of the best for joint health. Avocados are rich in healthy fats that help reduce inflammation, plus vitamin E for tissue repair, and potassium and magnesium to support your nerves and blood pressure. They don't spike your blood sugar, and they keep you full and fueled. Slice it on toast, add it to your salad, or enjoy it with eggs. It's soothing, healing, and nourishing. For those who prefer tropical flavors, papaya is your gentle alternative. Unlike pineapple or mango, papaya contains the enzyme papain, which aids digestion and calms inflammation. It's soft, non-acidic, and packed with vitamin C without the harsh effects on joints. If citrus fruits give you trouble, Papaya may be the sweet, healing option your body's been craving. And finally, pears, an underrated hero. Pears offer just the right amount of natural sugar for steady energy, while being rich in soluble fiber to stabilize blood sugar and digestion. They're easy on the stomach, loaded with the anti-inflammatory compound quercetin, and especially helpful when paired with a bit of protein or fat. One pear can leave you feeling balanced and satisfied, without the crash. The goal isn't to fear fruit, it's to choose it wisely. As your body changes, your needs change too. What supported you at 30 may slow you down at 70, and that's perfectly normal. So don't eat fruit just because it's healthy. Eat the fruits that are healthy for you, right now. Choose what strengthens you, what calms inflammation, and what fuels your energy, not drains it. Next time you reach for a piece of fruit, ask yourself, what is this doing for my body today? If the answer makes you feel empowered, you're making the right choice for your legs, your health, and your life. If this video opened your eyes, even just a little, then you're already on the path to taking back control of your health. Leg pain, fatigue, and joint stiffness don't always come from big, obvious causes. Sometimes it's the small, everyday choices, like the fruit on your plate, that make all the difference. But the good news is, those small choices can also lead to big improvements in how you feel, how you move, and how you live. So if you found this information helpful, give this video a like. It tells us to keep creating content that supports your well-being. Share it with a friend, parent, or loved one who might be facing the same struggles. You never know whose life you could help improve. And don't forget to subscribe and tap the notification bell so you never miss our weekly tips and health insights designed just for seniors.